KitchenAid's new $300 smart cooker claims to weigh your rice, measure the water, and automatically set the cook time, which sounds amazing, but also kind of insane. So today I'm putting it through a series of tests, from basic white rice to something I'd never trust a rice cooker to handle, dry pinto beans from scratch. All to find out if it's actually worth $300 or if you're better off spending your money on a $20 rice cooker and a measuring cup. So let's start with the basic test that any rice cooker should pass: plain white rice. And yes, I do buy it in 25-pound bags. Out of the box, the rice cooker comes pretty much fully ready. All you have to do is fill this container on the right with water up to the max line, and you're ready to get started. From here, you can use the touchscreen to cook whatever it is that you're cooking. We're starting with just rice on the top right there, and I'm gonna be cooking basmati rice because that's what I have. Now it tells me to add rice, so I'm just gonna click this button on the front to open it and start pouring my rice into the pot. Now, as I'm pouring rice in, you'll see that it actually weighs the rice for me, so I know exactly how much I'm cooking in cups. And you can even switch it to ounces or grams if you prefer that. I've got this filled up with 2.5 cups of rice. I'm just gonna click the next button. It tells me to level the food for even cooking, so I'll kind of just level out the rice a little bit. Click the next button again, and here you can set all different types of settings. So if your rice is prepared dry, you can leave it at that, or if you already pre-rinsed it, you can click rinsed here. I did not, so I'm gonna keep it as dry. For the liquid setting, you can use broth or other, or just regular water, and I am just using water. And then you can also set the texture that you want for the rice also, between soft, regular, and firm. Let's just start off with the regular setting, and I'm gonna click start. It tells me to close the lid, and after I close it, it immediately starts dispensing water on its own from the tank back here, and it's gonna figure out how much water I need without me doing anything. So it walked me through every single step to make this white rice. I didn't really have to know or do anything extra so far. Let's see how it turns out. And then as soon as that cooking starts, it's gonna give you an estimated total time in there. I have keep warm turned on as well, so that when it finishes, it's going to stay warm, and it just tells you it's in progress with a little progress bar at the top. So in about 35 minutes, we'll check on the results. About 30 or 35 minutes later, our rice is now ready. Let's take a look. And as you can see, we are now in the keep warm setting here so that our rice stays warm. And our first look at the rice, oh yeah, look at all that steam coming up. Looks absolutely perfect too. Each of these individual grains of rice is exactly what you want to see with this basmati rice. I'm just gonna fluff it up a little bit, mix it around here. There's a good close-up shot of our perfectly cooked white rice. Let's taste it just to make sure. It's absolutely spot on, exactly how I would want my rice cooked. So it easily handled the basic test as we expected. So let's challenge it a little bit more by making quinoa. When it's cooked wrong, quinoa can turn bitter or even mushy. So I'm hoping that this does a really good job and cooks it perfectly. So for this one, we need to set it to quinoa, which I think is gonna be under grains here, and it absolutely is. So I'm gonna click on quinoa. I've got a bag of just red quinoa here, completely dry, haven't rinsed it or anything. Let's make about a cup of it and run through the same settings here, level it out. We're doing dry, water, regular temperature, and we'll shut the lid and get this started. Just like with our rice, it automatically dispenses the water, which is good because honestly, I have no clue how to properly cook quinoa, so I'm glad I don't have to give it any instructions. And it looks like this one's gonna take about 25 minutes, and then we'll check on the results once again. 25 minutes later, it's now done. I'm excited to see how this one did. Let's take a first look at it. Again, a ton of steam coming off of it. Definitely the look you want to see right away. Let's just do a quick mix of this. Okay, it feels soft but not mushy, which I think is definitely what I want it to feel like. There's a nice spoonful of it, all cooked and ready, which means there's only one thing left to do. Let's taste test it. Wait a minute. I don't eat a ton of quinoa, but it feels fluffy, not dried out, not hard to chew or overcooked, kind of just somewhere in between. And to me, it tastes like the perfect texture. That definitely made cooking quinoa significantly easier. Now, surprisingly, this thing can apparently steam food also with the steamer basket that it came with. So let's put it to the test with frozen dumplings. So to steam food in this, all you have to do is place the steamer basket into there and fill it up with whatever you're steaming. I'm going with these frozen dumplings because I want to see if it can take dumplings from completely frozen to perfectly steamed. Now to steam, all you have to do is, just like the other ones, click the steam setting here and insert the steamer basket with our food, which we've already done. Click next and choose the time you want to steam it for, which I think I'm going to steam these for about 10 minutes or so. I'll probably check on them along the way, and let's start it up. And once again, I don't have to do anything else. It's just gonna do it all for me. And after dispensing water, the water starts to heat up. And I'm gonna see how long it takes to get to the point where our 10-minute timer actually starts so that we can compare it to just steaming these in a pan or something similar. And it looks like about 7 minutes into preheating, our steaming is now starting, and it'll take about 10 minutes or so to steam, and then we'll take a look at the results. It just finished steaming for 10 minutes. Let's take a look at the results. Whoa, look at those. They look delicious and perfectly steamed, at least on the outside so far. We'll have to see how the inside and if they're fully cooked. So here's an up close shot of it, and just breaking into the middle there, it does feel and look fully cooked, and it smells absolutely amazing. They are kind of falling apart, but let's take a bite and see how they taste. They're incredibly hot, but honestly perfectly steamed. I kind of guessed on the time, but they came out absolutely perfect. The inside is cooked nice and juicy. The outsides of them are nice and soft and really have that steamed kind of texture and taste. They're obviously not crispy like pan-fried dumplings would be, but I do love a good steamed dumpling almost as much as a pan-fried one, and these were super easy to make. And outside of the actual time that they were steaming, the preheat time was honestly pretty fast. So the dumplings did surprise me, honestly. I didn't think they'd come out this good, but now it's time for our hardest test, dry pinto beans. No soaking, no pre-boiling, just straight into the pot and seeing if our cooker can handle it. On the stovetop, pinto beans can take hours and a lot of trial and error to properly prepare. So on our screen here, we're gonna click the beans option, and let's see, we are looking for pinto beans. There we go, pinto beans or soaked pinto beans. So you can do them soaked, but we are going fully dry. Do about a cup of them. As always, click next onto here. They are not rinsed, they are prepared completely dry. We are gonna use water and want regular texture. And by the way, you can also delay cook if you want to. So if you wanted to start it in like an hour or so to prepare for dinner or anything like that, you could do that, but I'm gonna start it right now and let it dispense water for me, again, completely on its own. And it looks like it's gonna take about 2 hours to fully cook these. It did dispense over 4 cups of water, so definitely a ton of water in there. Now, compared to the time it took to cook our rice and our dumplings and everything else, I'm a little bit surprised to see 2 hours. But as I mentioned, pinto beans can take literally 6 to 8 hours or sometimes even days on the stovetop to fully prepare them. So we'll have to see. If it ends up undercooking these, they'll pretty much be inedible. And if it overcooks them, we might end up having bean paste. So let's see what happens. It's now 2 hours later. We're just a few seconds from this being ready. It's about to play a fun jingle, so there it goes. Let's take a look at the beans and see how they came out. Hopefully it was not a waste of 2 hours. Our first look. Okay, a lot of liquid in there. Hopefully that is supposed to be like that after done. I'm assuming it is. Get a nice spoonful of these beans, and they look pretty soft, but definitely haven't turned into a paste or anything like that. I feel like they're cooked pretty well. Let's go ahead and taste test and see how it is. It's pretty soft as a texture with just a little bit of bite through the beans, but almost nothing there. And the inside is nice and pasty and really soft. So overall, yeah, it's definitely cooked fully through. I would have never expected a rice cooker to even want to attempt this. So the fact that it perfectly cooked these beans in 2 hours is extremely impressive. So is KitchenAid's rice cooker worth $300? If you cook and eat rice as much as I do, which is at least once or twice a week, or you steam a bunch of food, you have a bunch of other grains that you want to cook, or you want to prepare beans, This thing does a lot, and it does everything I've tested perfectly. But if you already have a $20 or $30 rice cooker and all you care about is cooking rice, you're probably fine with what you've got. Now, YouTube has decided that you probably want to see this video right here next, so you should click on it.